Hello and welcome to MediaNama. With multiple innovations, launches, and partnerships, food delivery platforms Swiggy and Zomato are constantly looking for ways to stay ahead in India's e-commerce game. However, the recent launches of the platform's ultra-fast food delivery standalone apps, namely Swiggy's SNACC and Zomato's Bistro, have invited a host of criticism from their restaurant partners. Leading the action, the National Restaurants Association of India, or the NRAI, representing over 5 lakh restaurants nationwide, has hinted at plans to take legal action against these platforms. But why is the association opposing these new launches? One such reason, disclosed by the NRAI, is the practice of private labeling by these players, violating marketplace neutrality. To explain, both apps promise 10 to 15-minute food delivery by sourcing food and beverages from third-party vendors and delivering them through their quick commerce dark stores. In doing so, they leverage their dominant positions to promote private labels. Speaking to MediaNama, NRAI president and Wow Momo founder Sagar Daryani claimed that Zomato and Swiggy use their data without sharing it with them. They may be migrating their customers to their private label offerings, including tea, biryani, or momo, Daryani added. These actions by food delivery platforms threaten restaurant partners who rely on them for visibility and business. Besides private labeling, the NRAI raised concerns about data misuse. The association argued that Swiggy and Zomato have access to customer data but refrain from sharing it with restaurants, causing a lack of transparency. As per news reports, the body was planning to approach the Competition Commission of India, or the CCI, in early January to voice its apprehensions in the matter. Later, the Economic Times reported that the ensuing legal steps on the issue will be discussed following a meeting of senior industry officials with Swiggy and Zomato's executives. Notably, the report also added that the NRAI was working with the government-backed Open Network for Digital Commerce, or ONDC partners, Ola and MagicPin, to figure out an alternative to 10-minute deliveries. In December 2024, Ola and MagicPin launched their own 10 to 15-minute food delivery services called Ola Dash and Magic Now. While news reports suggested potential for NRAI's partnership with Ola and MagicPin via ONDC, it is important to consider that users in the past have been vocal about the lack of timely deliveries on ONDC orders. With the entry of new players into the 10-minute food delivery ecosystem, concerns about the mounting pressure on delivery partners and gig workers are also raised. These issues, however, aren't new. In 2022, when Zomato first announced its 10-minute delivery plans under Zomato Instant, it was met with severe backlash for compelling delivery workers to meet unrealistic deadlines. This also concurred with multiple reports suggesting that the delivery workers of quick commerce platforms like Zepto and Zomato's Blinkit committed road safety violations and engaged in speeding under the fear of reprimand by store managers if they failed to meet delivery deadlines. However, Zomato refuted these allegations of time pressure and penalty for delivery partners over late deliveries and added that optimization doesn't happen on the road and that they don't require the risking of delivery partners' lives. Zomato's instant program was scrapped in 2023 and launched as Bistro late last year. Moving forward, it is important to note that while time optimization doesn't take place on the delivery end, it could potentially occur at the restaurant's end, resulting in mounting pressure on restaurant partners. Speaking of Bolt, Swiggy's 10-minute delivery initiative, embedded within its unified app and separate from SNACC, the company claimed that it only offers 30 to 40% of the food items which restaurants can prepare under 4 minutes. In contrast, restaurants believe that with the standalone ultra-fast food delivery apps like SNACC and Bistro, Swiggy and Zomato would operate from their own kitchens to prepare items within 10 minutes. Responding to these concerns, Zomato founder Deepinder Goyal reportedly wrote to the company's restaurant partners informing them that Bistro wasn't a cloud kitchen or a private label. While Swiggy did not directly address private labeling accusations, during its earnings call, it explained that cloud kitchens were not the only ways to facilitate 10-minute deliveries. Swiggy CEO Rohit Kapoor explained that there was enough density in Indian cities and that Swiggy was already dense in all the markets, so much so that they could get an agglomeration of restaurants and consumer points within 2 kilometers of each other. Ultimately, it would create a positive flywheel on the restaurant side because they would see more demand, Kapoor added. Providing a clarification as this issue resurfaced, Zomato CEO Dipinder Goyal explained that as a restaurant aggregator, the platform will never compete with its restaurant partners. He also claimed that Bistro was a separate app and its menus were created using publicly known snacking patterns. Addressing allegations about customer data, Zomato responded that Bistro's team has no access to data that would create an unfair playing field. Notably, the NRAI has also previously expressed concerns about Swiggy and Zomato engaging in private labeling. In 2021, a complaint filed with the CCI, the NRAI alleged that the food delivery platforms concealed customer data from restaurants and used it to create their own private labels. The complaint also suggested that since Swiggy and Zomato manage their own cloud kitchens, they have an incentive to divert more traffic to these services. These practices create an inherent conflict of interest on the platform's role as an intermediary on one hand and as a participant on the other, the NRAI concluded. Later in 2022, the body filed another complaint with the CCI alleging unfair practices like preferential treatment of specific restaurant partners, charging of high commission fees, and bundling of loyalty programs. As of November 2024, the CCI investigation found that the delivery giants breached competition laws. As per internal documents viewed by news organizations, Zomato entered into exclusivity contracts with partners in return for lower commission, while Swiggy guaranteed business growth to certain players exclusively listed on the platform. Further, the CCI report found that Zomato imposed pricing and discount restrictions on the restaurant's partners if they failed to comply with its demands. Meanwhile, Swiggy's restaurant partners were threatened that their rankings would be pushed down if price parity wasn't maintained. Moving forward, the NRAI's deliberation on a new potential legal challenge to these applications has also garnered support from the Gig Workers Union, also known as the Indian Federation of App-Based Taxi Workers, or the IFAT. IFAT has argued that Swiggy and Zomato must take accountability for the various problems caused by 10-minute deliveries. These include the compromise of personal health and worker safety through road safety violations, alleged data exploitation, and other labor rights violations. The Federation suggested that Swiggy and Zomato should engage in discussions with policymakers and union leaders to develop sustainable and worker friendly solutions instead of relying on practices exploiting the gig workers they employ. Despite these accusations and many others, the quick commerce segment has gained considerable traction. In the past few months, e commerce players like Amazon, Tata Digital, Nykaa, Flipkart, and JioMart, alongside the previously mentioned companies, have thrown their hat into the quick commerce ring. Notably, certain initiatives are already bearing positive results. For example, Swiggy's Bolt accounted for 5% of the platform's overall volume within just 8 weeks of its launch. Going forward, as Swiggy and Zomato launch new ventures to further capitalize on the demand for ultra-fast delivery, it will be interesting to note how these platforms address the concerns raised by restaurant partners and delivery workers. Thank you for watching. For more tech policy updates, please subscribe to MediaNama.